Hi, this is Matthew Stephen, Voice Radio Network, and welcome to part 2 of Beyond the Oil Spill. It's beyond the oil spill, folks. It's what's coming. I've been talking about it for months. I've been talking about the things God's been speaking to me about for 30 years in this nation. And this oil spill is just one event of destruction, of environmental problems, and much more deeper beyond this oil spill than just environmental problems. Much more deeper than job losses. Much more deeper than we've got to get our fishing industries back. America, I speak to you tonight, to the White House, to the Gulf Coast of Mexico, and all those who live on the Gulf. You will not clean up this disaster. It's just a front sent by the Obama administration. But I can tell you right now, if you live anywhere from Florida to Texas, as I have said back in 2008 when I was in Houston, Texas, and Galveston, tell everybody to get off the coast. Get off the coast. Hurricane Ike came in the middle of the night as it was prophesied when I was down there in a meeting on June the 1st. I spoke that word on June the 1st, 2008, that Hurricane Ike would come in. And it would come in like a 5, and it would come in the middle of the night, and this is exactly what it did prophetically. And I can tell you right now, as I told the people then on June 1st, 2008, and all up and down the Gulf Coast tour that I took, in the mission God had me send there, as I struck the ocean in 3 places, in Galveston, Texas, down in the Gulf Coast area of Louisiana, below New Orleans area, in the Mississippi River and the Gulf of Mexico, and in Pensacola, Florida. And God is sending judgment in this nation beyond measure. He has sent the judgments, He's sending judgments, and He's going to continue sending more judgments. The scientists will not be able to explain the 100-year flood. As the Lord told me back in 1993, a great tsunami, a great explosion in the Gulf of Mexico would come, and the whole land from Florida to Texas would be on fire as it was covered with a great flood of tsunami. And it's beyond this oil spill that's getting ready to happen. Mass explosions. The Gulf on fire and the land from Florida to Texas on fire. If you live from Florida to Texas, anywhere in there along the Gulf Coast areas, you better get out. This is a real word from God. I've told the people back then, get out because no one will survive. Everybody will die. I don't care if you're a Christian or non-Christian, who you are, whether you're a politician, whether you're a fisherman, whatever you are, if you value your families and the protection of life and what God is speaking in this hour, hear this word, America, and hear this word, people of the Gulf Coast. God says He's sending a judgment beyond 10 times greater than Katrina. This oil spill is only 10 times greater than Katrina, and it's what's beyond the oil spill 10 times greater than that. I have found myself trembling, and as I sought God in prayer, I asked Him for insight about this oil catastrophe, and He has said to me to tell them what's beyond the oil spill that is coming, that will bring much fear, panic, and death. That we are in the second storm. There will be 3 storms for America, and we're in the second storm. And there will be three plates for America, and we're in the first plate at the tail end. The first plate for America, and that a great storm will come upon the land with great floods, and that there will be a great terrorist attack in this first plate, and we're at the tail end of that first place now, folks. We are right at the end of a 7 times greater than 9/11 event. America once again will be in a great war, both on her shores and abroad. There will be greater disasters and catastrophic events beyond anything the world has ever known. Great terrorist events are about to rise in America, and we are in the last 2-year clock, starting in June 2010. It was 18 years for America, starting from June 94 to June 2012, is what the Lord told me way back in 1993. And 18 years for America for her total demise. It will take holy wisdom, great faith, new armor to make it through the dark war we are now in. This oil spill is just one more judgment of God upon America and upon the earth. But the greatest judgments are still at hand. Will this judgment go away? Absolutely not. Not this time. We are about to see the greatest wake-up call the earth has ever known. This judgment will include the very foundations of the earth shaking, quaking, and trembling. There will be a sequence of events that will take place. These events are going to strike a death judgment to the economies, to the food supplies, and the people of America, as well as the earth will shake. We are going to witness a 9/11 event 7 times greater, war, famine, great civil unrest, riots, mass amounts of people by the millions living in tents on the streets of America, bread lines that will go for miles, America's total breakdown in society within the start of the late summer into the fall and the year of 2010, the civil unrest. Now, I've been talking this stuff for 30 years, folks. This is not some wannabe coming on the block. This is something I've been telling America for 30 years in this nation. And it's not because it's Matthew Stephen. It's because it's the Lord God Almighty speaking forth His word, given it to a prophet in charge of concerning the overall plan of what would take place on the earth and what would take place over America as a prophet to the nation of America. Not that I'm just a piece of dust. And you know me, I don't like titles. But I'm just telling you like what the Lord said. This civil unrest will be beyond the riots of Martin Luther King's days. That was a walk in the park compared to what's ready to happen. America will see very soon an 8.5 earthquake and a 9.2 earthquake on the West Coast. This is not something that we need to dial up a deck of cards on like some of these people have. This is something God's been having me speak for years. And this year, we're going to see a great earthquake in America. And maybe, from what I'm seeing in the Spirit and what the Lord's told me about, I believe we'll see 3 great earthquakes this year. And one that's going to take place very soon. I believe in the fall, the markets are going to rock and shake. I believe we're going to see great earthquake. Now, we're seeing spiritual earthquakes, and we'll see literal earthquakes. We're going to see 4 notable hurricanes this year out of all the hurricanes and tropical storms, and 3 of them will cause catastrophic damage to America. We are about to see something that the earth has never seen before, folks. The New Madrid fault line is about to be shaking, and that earthquake that's coming will be greater than the 1800s. And I don't know if you know anything about that when I say that, but greater than the 1800s was right around an 8.7, 8.9 earthquake. I'm not sure the exact fact as far as that goes, but I do know this, that earthquake was a great earthquake. And some people say it was an 8.7, 8.5, 8.9, but I can tell you this, you can bank on it. It will be greater than the 1800s earthquake that was taking place in the New Madrid fault line. And it's about to take place. There is an undersea of the Gulf of Mexico fault line that goes from Louisiana to south of Florida. Along with this earthquake fault line, there is an undersea volcano that the Lord showed me about that will rise up out of the Gulf of Mexico with any type of shifting, like a man-made device such as an explosion via a nuke or similar type devices, and even the methane gas explosions that will take place that I'm going to talk more about in this video series. I've got some very serious information for you to listen to tonight, and you might have heard it on my other radio networks, Judgment at the Door Radio, which you can get to my website and propheticwatchmanvine.com. You can go to all 3 radio programs by clicking on video, and all the icons for live stream videos for Judgment at the Door Radio on Saturday nights. You've got Blog Talk Radio on there, and you've got this YouTube link that's on there. And these are 3 radio programs that I do: Judgment at the Door Radio, America Beyond the Veil, and Voice Radio Network. And you can pick up the information that I've been talking about for years in this nation's coming, and has happened and is coming. And with that said, we've got a lot to cover on this next video, and we're about ready to go into a major thing, and you don't want to miss this series, because this series is a very serious event of what God's been speaking to me about, and it's being confirmed in the natural, and I will show that to you later on in this series of this America that's ready to see the greatest judgment the earth has ever seen on Voice Radio Network. From Matthew Stephen, God bless you until this next part. We'll see you now. Beyond the Oil Spill, Part 2, and we'll be going into Part 3 shortly.